Hey everybody, Paul here with ADV for Me. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Today, I will be doing a little update to the T7's dash, so stick around. Okay, so this is the current dash setup I have on the T7. Out of the gate, when I first purchased the T7 back in 2021, I immediately installed the Zumo XT on the Rally Raid mount up top. I had it like that for some time, and then I ended up shifting over the display, the dash cluster over, and I had the Zumo on the side. And then I discovered DMD2 and fell in love with the Thork tablet. This setup is absolutely incredible. And the only thing is I was kidding myself saying that I was okay with the way it looked. I don't necessarily like how high this is in its current configuration, and it felt very heavy. What I ended up doing was creating these, I'm calling them winglets on the original dash, and I've got my remotes for my Insta360 camera and my action cam, my DJI Action 4, along with my light controls for my Denali lights. So today we're going to eliminate this entirely, and we're going to drop this display down and put it down in its place. So let's get into it. Oh, what do we got here? I've been waiting for, I think, 6 weeks for this to arrive. So a company out of Italy called 7SOLID has created this awesome new product for all of us guys that want to, try to get a little bit more custom with our setups. So I'm going to go ahead and just bust everything out. We have my favorite part here. I'm just going to grab a razor blade. So this here is going to replace the T7 display. And if you look at it, the design cues are taken right from the original dash with these little blocks in the corner. This is a steel construction. And what I'm going to do when I take off the OEM display, I'm going to weigh the two and see what kind of weight savings we have. So you got the display, and then you have this here, which is the control unit, which your bike will plug directly into. And then I ordered the optional side fairing mount, which would mount down on the side of the bike to keep this control unit away from the front dash. But I'm likely going to go ahead and just use the typical this mount here, which is up on the cluster itself, because I don't want this down on the side of the bike. If I lay the bike down in mud and water, which I do frequently, I prefer to have this up and away, out of harm's way as much as possible. So we also have some mounting hardware, and then who doesn't love stickers? All right, so I'm going to go ahead now and just take off the windscreen as the first step. We need to get access to the two screws on the back of the dash. Take all this stuff off. So I'm just going to remove these two screws here, holding on the dash. Set those aside. I'm going to remove the tablet here as well. Get that out for now. And I'm going to take off this mount here. This is the Thork Racing mount, and we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail shortly. I'm going to go ahead and remove that now. Okay, that's off. Set that down there. Now I can lift the display off. Now grab the Phillips. So on the back of the display, you've got 3 Phillips screws, which I'm going to go ahead and just undo now. The reason I'm doing this and not pulling it off the bike is because I have to take off my Denali light controller first before I can get this completely off of the dash. So we'll go ahead and just take these screws off now. Okay, got all 3 of those. Now I can just undo the clip, or the power supply, the plug. There we go. So we've got this off now. Take off my little winglet that I made, and we can take this off completely as well. So look at that. Look at the size difference. Where's the thing? Look at this. And what's also great is the speedometer. I think the speedometer and your gear selector, and I think air temperature, the LED lights, they're this exact same size. All right, so just off camera, I just weighed everything, and there's a savings of 167 grams. It's actually, the unit itself is actually pretty heavy, given its metal construction versus the plastic. So I'm just right now taking out the temperature sensor out of the display holder here, because you're gonna use this. I'm not gonna get into any great detail about the DMD software, but it's pretty awesome. Kicks Zumo's ass, in my opinion. Okay, I'll get this out of the way. All right, so now we are going to mount the display itself. So this is the mount that came with the Thork tablet, and this is one of their mounts. They have a longer one as well, which I might order if I don't feel I can get this dropped down far enough. But what I did a little bit of test fitting, not gonna lie, earlier, not with a display yet, but just with this to see how far down I can get the display. So right now, in its original format, I had it up here, but I want to get it to drop down further, and also noting that I can't go too far down because I don't want the controls or the bark busters to hit the tablet. But what I discovered is that if I flip this 180 degrees, I'm able to get a bit more angle out of this mount. And what I did do is I buzzed off just a slight little bit of this peak right here, again, just to give me a bit more range of motion with the mount. So I'm gonna go ahead now and just flip this. Can't find the whole story of my life. I'll get this just snug. Okay. Now, I'm able to get this all the way down into this position here. Oh, I'm getting excited. This is gonna look so good. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and put the back bracket on here. Okay, so I've got this just loosely mounted. Now what I've gone and grabbed is just the bracket. And this is I'm calling it the control module, okay? So this piece here mounts on the back of these two original mounting points. And then this here gets mounted like this. Okay, this is probably a better angle for you. So this is the bracket that comes with the unit. This goes in behind these two upright posts. And then this here will mount on here like this. I'm gonna go ahead and button this up off camera. So just while I'm test fitting this bracket to mount the control module, I'm gonna mention that these also come with the display, and this is what mounts on the front to actually hold the display through these holes here. So they give you a couple of different options. So this one here is the longer one. And to be honest, I like the angle that this one positions the screen at. If you look here, you can see that they're at different angles. I know it's hard to tell from here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bend this to match this one here. But I do like the shorter one, which keeps the display higher up. So again, I'm just gonna quickly bend these and I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and bent this one here to match the longer version, the deeper version of the mount. And I also mounted the plate onto the control module. One thing I will mention is that I did have to actually take a drill and drill these holes out a little bit larger, as they did not fit through this bracket. So this is gonna get mounted on the back side. This guy here is gonna go around the front side. And now I'll just bolt these in. So may this video be proof. So I just plugged the original display back in just to get the odometer reading off the bike, because that is actually stored inside the display. So the new display actually has 0. So I have to obviously be able to set that, and you can. So the bike now has 20,766 kilometers. So we'll set the new display to obviously display that same value. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take the air sensor that was on the back of the original panel mount or display mount, and I'm just gonna plug it in. We'll play with that. Maybe it's easier to get it plugged in. There we go. So that works. Now we can grab the display. Oh, this is so exciting. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, I like. Grab the here and mount this. Oh yes, look at that. Love it. It's crooked right now, but I have to just adjust the mount a little bit. I can pull that down a little bit too. Let's just see what it looks like when it powers on for the first time. All right, so now I'm going to connect the display to the control module with this little black cable here. Just line up the plug and then screw this on. I'll clean it. Oh, I saw a little flash. I will play with the wiring later and do a little cleanup. Just want to make sure that this is plugged in. It's tight. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Let's just see if this actually... Nope. Nope. So I could... No, that's as low as I want to go with it. That looks awesome. And I was able to, again, bring down the display quite a bit. Let me see what it looks like with the windscreen sort of in its loose. Yeah, so that dropped the display down about, what, 2 inches, 2.5 inches? So much cleaner. And you can see here too, again, I was saying earlier that the display, things that are of importance, let me see what it says for the gear. So there's your gear indicator. So right now we're in neutral and we're in kilometers per hour. And another thing that I forgot to mention, which is huge, is this has ABS memory. So you can have it so that it operates the way the bike does now, or you can have it set up so that if you turn off the ABS, it stays off until you turn it on again, regardless of the ignition, or if you stall, it'll stay in that off position. So that is awesome. So now I'm going to try and set the odometer. So right now I'm in odometer mode. So right now it's showing as zeros. I'm going to hold in both buttons for 3 seconds. Set. Yes, we want to set it. Now I got to go up to 20,766. So 20,766 kilometers is what is on the bike. So we'll get it right to 60. There we go. So now both of these buttons together at the same time will save it. So now the odometer is saved. When I turn the bike off, turn the bike on again, there you can see it saved. Sweet. All right, I'm just going to start the bike just so you can kind of see what the display looks like with the tach and the speedometer. And so you can see here, you got your tach, you got your speed. This is the current gear. You change gears. Just lift it up one. So here's your gear selector. There we're in 3rd gear, that's good, okay. We got the temperature, you got your fuel, and then signals. You can see here you've got now, instead of having the little light, you've got it actually in the display. So that's left, and then you've got right. All right, so that's a pretty simple installation, and I am super happy with the outcome. Obviously, as I'm not familiar with this display and all of its operations, I'll do a follow-up once I'm a little bit more familiar with how to turn on and off the ABS. I believe there's 3 settings. You've got new, which is so that the memory is on. You've got off, so that the ABS is never on, and then you've got the old, which is it resetting with the ignition, or if you were to stall it. Yeah, that's it. If you guys got anything out of this video, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Give it a thumbs up. And that's it. We'll see you in the next one.